Hi, I'm Ben.
And I'm Stefan.
Welcome to the Animating in 3's 34th episode Christmas Spectacular. Ho ho! Roll the intro. Miracle on 34th episode, man.
Yep,
Straight.
Yep, that's correct, Michael. Welcome to Animating in 3's. This is a podcast where three people talk about an animated series or film and talk about it from an animator's perspective.
Merry Christmas, Ben and Stefan.
Merry Christmas, Michael and Stefan.
Michael and Stefan.
Merry
and
Christmas,
Ben.
Screaming Bird.
As Michael has said, this is the 34th episode of
Spectacular.
Yes, it's a Christmas spectacular because this week we are going to be talking about 3 Christmas specials from TV.
A triptych of television terrific goodness. I couldn't think of a last word that started with T. That means good.
Tinnitus?
The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon.
And those episodes that we're going to be talking about are the Invader Christmas Special, the Garfield Christmas Special, and the Community Animated Christmas Special.
Christmas!
If you want to look at any of the time codes below to skip to anything, just check on that out below.
Or better yet, turn it off and go be with your family.
Hooray!
Shouldn't we be with our families?
But first, we are going to be talking about some animation news. So, despite Jon Favreau saying it's not an animated film, guess what movie was nominated for Best Animated Feature Film?
The Lion Prince.
The Lion King, yes.
That too.
But it is animated.
I know, but
Fully animated.
He is adamant that it's not an animated feature.
It's the literal definition of animated.
Well,
I know what he means.
I know, because it's so lifelike.
I think he
doesn't
feels
want
like
it to be
animation, in
classified.
order to qualify as animation, there needs to be some kind of artistry, as in like an aesthetic behind it.
But no, that was totally
he's
animated.
just trying to emulate reality, and I guess...
But
It's anima-
it got to the point where they, even on their adverts, they didn't say that it's nominated for Best Animation.
You know what,
Yes.
Jon Favreau? You can always turn down the Oscar. I
Yeah.
hope he does. I hope they win just so we can get up there and go, it's not animated, and then throw it into the crowd.
Here, have a Baby Yoda instead.
Yeah.
Baby Yoda. Can Baby Yoda be nominated for Best Animation?
For Best Supporting Actor.
Oh, I would love that if he was. That would be amazing.
I haven't watched The Mandalorian. Is Baby Yoda a puppet or is it CG?
Yeah, it's mostly puppet.
Okay, that's good. I like
When
that.
is it CG?
Oh, just in a few shots when, like, a full body shots of it walking.
Is
and
Baby
stuff.
Yoda Bill Burr's character?
No.
Okay.
Why do they keep calling it Baby Yoda? Does it not have a name?
Nope. Okay, next piece of animation news. Marvel TV is shutting down.
What? Oh.
So, the studio will be folded into Marvel Studios under Kevin Feige. Shows currently in production will continue, I presume, until the end of their concurrent
What
seasons.
shows are in production at the moment?
No idea.
I think just Hellstrom.
I don't know.
Hello,
The
my
Devil
baby,
Dinosaur,
hello, Marty.
the Devil Dinosaur and Moon.
Oh, then there was those animated Hulu adult shows like Howard the Duck and all that. You see that? Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you're talking
Howard
about.
the Duck. No one
Yeah,
needs to see that.
I think it was Hulu.
Yeah,
like there was
maybe.
got to be some Hulu originals or something that was going to be adult-oriented animated series based on some kind of peripheral Marvel characters. It was
Like
meant to be like
Howard the
Howard the Duck would get like an adult animated series, and a few other characters would get one, and then they would come in for an Avengers-style crossover called The Offenders.
That's clever.
I think that's now either in development hell or scrapped because of this
Okay.
change in management.
Well, that kind of sucks that it's shutting down.
Because I don't know, like Marvel Studios is always consistently like adequate to good quality, but Marvel Television at least kind of took risks, and they made kind of shows that were like tonally different or oriented towards different audiences, and I don't think you'll get that now. I think it'll tend to like they're all the Marvel stuff is kind of homogenous and tonally similar and has similar themes and aesthetics and directing
Wow, it's like
styles.
we have Martin Scorsese on the podcast.
Oh, I hate Marvel. That's why I have a shelf full of comic books at home.
Oh, there's actually another studio that closed down. I forgot what it was called, but
Wow, we're a good
it was the
informative
studio
podcast.
who did all the new work on the Sonic film.
So are they just
I
going to
have no
revert back
idea.
to the original model?
Oh my god,
They
imagine
should do that. They should just keep the marketing the way it is with the new Sonic model, but just all the posters, all the trailers is the new updated one, and they should just release it in theaters as the original, untouched, horrible demon Sonic animation model.
I've been laughing the entire time, to be honest.
Because you'd laugh and you'd think, oh, this is a joke. Like, this is going to be like a little fake like stinger before the movie starts.
No.
Nope, it's a whole 90 minutes.
It's a 90-minute stinger, and it keeps stinging long after you leave the cinema.
That should be the tagline of the film. It still hurts long after you've left the cinema.
Okay, there's gonna be a new Netflix series. Do you want to guess what it's about?
That's so vague.
Okay, is it?
That's like saying 20th Century Fox is making a new film.
It's not Star Wars, I can tell you that.
Yeah. Yes.
It's She-Ra Season 6.
No! It's really stupid,
That
okay,
ladybug
Stefan?
frog superhero that Stefan likes.
Miraculous
No.
Ladybug.
Yeah, that.
Okay, so Stefan and I use this messaging app with our friends called Line. And that app has a few mascots. And you know what? Those app mascots are getting their own Netflix show.
Why? I've never even heard of that app. Can I see the
Why?
picture?
That's so odd. It just reminds me of them making an emoji movie.
Is it going to
It's
be like
completely
Happy Tree Friends
unnecessary.
when it looks cute, but it's like uncompromisingly violent?
No, I don't think anything's like Happy Tree Friends.
I have no idea, but
That's bizarre.
it's
What, Happy
so
Tree
That's
weird.
stranger than the Emoji Movie.
I
think.
know, because
At least the Emoji Movie has like a kind of wide reach and is
No, but
reasonably-
Line's really popular in Japan,
Ah,
and that's
okay.
it. I don't think it's popular as much in worldwide, global.
Does Netflix have a large Japanese user base?
I think they do have, because there's a lot of anime on there. So I would assume they do have a large
I don't know.
Eastern audience. I guess there's no way to find
No,
out.
we don't know this stuff.
Ah.
It's impossible.
What's the internet?
Who knows?
Anyway, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. That's the end of the
That's the end of the
animation
podcast.
news. No, that's the end of the animation news, Michael.
Let's move on to the Christmassy part of the Christmas podcast. That's so Christmassy. It's actually our 34th episode, like the movie.
Miracle on 34th podcast.
National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
I'm
Okay.
gonna say National Treasure 2 Book of Secrets.
That would have been funnier. I wish you said that now.
Okay, so I chose for my Christmas special the Invader Zim Most Horrible Xmas Special. Now, what I know about this special was this was released as the last episode of Invader Zim
Oh,
for
okay.
when it was gotten rid of, and I'm not going to try and pronounce his name, but Johann Vasquez because
Vasquez!
Vasquez.
Come on!
he was annoyed that he couldn't the rest of the episodes he had planned wouldn't get released, but he thought it was fitting that the series would end on a terrible Christmas special, so he left it as that.
Oh, is this a series finale?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Well, for when it was finished before the movie came out,
Yeah.
obviously. So
That seems like a very odd place to leave a series.
it is, but it was cancelled, so
Yeah.
there's nothing you can really do. It's as good a place as any, to be honest.
Meh.
I mean, Zim's plan in this actually does work quite well.
Yeah, it almost works. I like that.
So what's the plot summary for it, Stefan?
So, the plot of this, I haven't written it down, so this is off the cuff. So, there's this snowman, and he's telling all these kids, oh, let me tell you about the most horrible Christmas thing that ever.
Does that mean this is the canonical end to the Invader Zim universe?
I guess so.
This is what it eventually like heads towards.
Because it's 2
million
million
years in the
years
future.
Yeah.
So, he tells them about the story about Zim, who's busking on the street in his very human costume with his dog.
Can I ask a question about that? In the series, he's dressed as a human boy.
Yes.
Why doesn't he do that instead of wearing just a weird, really fake human costume?
Okay, I don't think you've realised this, but Zim's an idiot.
Oh,
He's not-
everything's so much clearer
Not
now.
very smart. But he is quite smart. He does very smart things in this, but to very stupid ends. So anyhow, he realizes that all the other people on the street are busking as this big fat Santa man. So he's like, oh, I want to find out who this Santa man is. He ends up interrogating this guy who's a mall Santa, gets all the information he needs and decides, oh, I'm going to become Santa Claus and then convince all of Earth to get into my teleporter and get them all to the Urkham Empire so then the Urkhans can praise me for being a great invader. Typical Zim stuff. In the meanwhile, Dib always tries to stop him because he seems to be the only one in the universe that cares that Zim is Santa Claus and tries to stop him. And that's pretty much the plot.
And what happens at the end, Stefan?
At the end, the Santa Claus costume that Zim invents ends up being a sentient robot monster that he has to launch into space using Dib's bionical robot thing that was given to him by his father to destroy Santa Claus because his father hates Santa Claus. This is a great plot, by the way.
And then at the end, it goes back to the snowman.
Yeah, and the snowman says to the kids, "Oh, don't worry, kids, Santa will always live on." And by that, I mean, he comes here every year trying to destroy us.
That was like, you could see that
Yes.
joke coming when he says Santa will live on, and one of the kids just asked, like, in the hearts and minds of us all. And, like, you just expect, like, I expected the Futurama style joke, where Santa's like an evil robot that comes to bring death and murder every year.
Yeah, exactly like that.
Yeah, it reminded me of that.
And I really liked how it was
That
in
was
the
funny.
globe as well, because I like the little plastic snowman in
Yeah,
the globe.
it's clever. I liked this the best out of all the Invader Zim stuff we watched.
So weird.
This has the most jokes that I found, like really quick moments that I found the most kind of like just outwardly funny.
Again, this
Yeah.
was at the end of the series run, so at this stage, the show had completely it's got
Yeah.
its style.
Yeah,
Also,
yeah.
I found it it had a very breakneck fast pace as well.
I thought I was watching it on fast forward, as in like,
Oh, okay.
as in like the 120% speed, where like it's still watchable, but you kind of can tell that it's too fast. It kind of added to the comedy, I think. Like the dialogue was just like so snappy. No, yeah, it was like a breakneck pace. It was a lot of the jokes go by like really, really quickly. There's a lot of like really, really bitter, dark moments in it. Like I like when Zim's looking at like his busking tray to see how much money he's got, and it's just like a bunch of garbage, and there's just like a human heart in the corner.
I mean, everyone has a spare human heart to
Well,
spare.
the first thing he picks up is the tuna sandwich. He's like, tuna? Tuna doesn't mean anything. Also, there's a lot of weird instances. I love everything about Invader Zim, but I love how it has instances where it'll just focus on a character. There'll be nothing, and then that character will just scream
Yeah.
for no reason, and that'll be the focus of that shot.
I found that like a lot of background heroes, like compared to the earlier first season that we watched, they do it a lot more in this.
Yeah, all the humans in this are insane.
Yes.
Like, they're all insane.
I loved the
It's a big mob mentality.
yeah, I
to
loved
them.
the Simpsons-esque mob mentality. Just how quick he could sway a crowd.
Easter platypus, we love you. I love the Easter platypus.
Yeah, when he says Easter shrimp for everybody.
What does that
Just
even
a
mean?
bucket of shrimp.
Also, let's just take a moment to appreciate my favorite character in this series.
Mini Moose.
No,
Oh.
Gurr.
Oh, Gur's great.
It's so great. When one part, when Zim is in the Santa costume, he goes, "You are so cute," and then Gurr just goes, "Yes, I am."
He is. He's adorable. Well, he doesn't scream as much in this.
No, he
I feel like
doesn't.
this.
Yeah, there was less yelling.
Yeah, but there was a lot of the more peripheral characters got a chance to yell, which is very nice. Did any of you guys realize Mini Moose? Do you realize this is the first time in the series Mini Moose was even introduced?
Does that mean
Oh, really?
Yes, you told me about it before, actually.
Because I saw him, I just assumed it was a character I didn't know
No,
about.
he was meant to be introduced in an earlier episode as the ultimate destructive weapon that Zim created.
That's funny.
It's his ultimate weapon, this Mini Moose. But that's why when Santa looks at the moose and he goes, "What is that?" He goes, "Oh, he's my other psychic. He's been here the whole time."
Okay, I didn't grab that joke the first time because I assumed he was a character that I just wasn't familiar with.
From a story perspective, I really liked how, towards the midpoint, you think, oh, this is going to be a story about Zim actually getting into the Christmas spirit because the suit around him, like, really
Yeah.
loves the Christmas spirit. But I really loved how they flipped to that and went, oh, you know what? It loves the Christmas spirit a little bit too much. And then it just turns into this gigantic mutant Santa Claus thing.
And the finale is just it versus Dib in a giant robot outfit.
I liked that. That was funny.
Animation-wise,
Good stuff.
I found it a bit better than the first season, I would say.
I think it definitely is. Because there were also less episodes in season 2.
Is it still
okay.
animated on digitally?
Yes. But the 3D was also a lot less noticeable.
I
in
didn't
the
Yes, I didn't notice
episodes.
it
I
at
don't,
all.
notice it at all.
Well, there was still quite a lot, though.
Yeah, but like, it's blended well if it was there. Yeah.
Because, one of our criticisms of the first season was that a lot of that stuff was very noticeable. But in here, I think it's blended so much better.
But since Invader Zim is sci-fi and a lot of the 3D is used to represent like alien technology, I think that's fine because it's like the Futurama thing where at least the 3D is like thematically tied to the show, or at least it fits aesthetically. Whether like in something like The Simpsons, it's not because it's about domestic life, and not really about technology. So I think even if the 3D did stand out a bit, it still fits. But it was nice that it just didn't stand out at all.
Yeah, I
in
just
this.
didn't notice it whatsoever.
In this, I noticed, as you were saying, there's a lot of quick-paced things. But a lot of the animation there's a lot of very detailed things that happen very quickly. Like there's this part where Dr. Membrane, Dib's father, he turns all the electricity on because Dib accidentally turns all the electricity off, short circuits everything. And then just as Dib and Gaz are walking through the door, he does a somersault, electrocutes the door and blows it up for no reason. It happens in the span of like half a second. It's like, why did they think just to have that insanely complex movement in like a span of 1 second?
It's so funny
Why
how just
wouldn't
like
you?
opposite this Christmas special is the Garfield Christmas special.
No, like most Christmas specials are meant to be slow and kind of reflective, but this is just balls to the walls insanity.
It really is. I also really like the joke about with the candy canes. Where it's like, oh, why didn't you put me in the cage with the stronger candy canes in the first place? I have my reasons.
Seems an idiot.
It was really funny. I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot more than like, not to say the others that didn't enjoy the other stuff, but yeah, I think
I find it funny because this was the series finale of the time. There's a lot of similarities between how this is structured and the movie that came out recently.
Okay.
Like
Oh,
it's
okay.
almost replaced the Christmas theme with a more Trump-esque like presidency, and that's pretty much.
Oh,
the
is that what
plot
it's like
of the movie.
satirizing?
Yeah, that's no,
Okay.
but that's pretty much what he does. In which he tries to teleport everyone to the Urkin Empire. It's the same sort of premise.
Oh, okay.
So it almost feels as if this was like a blueprint to what would then become the Invaders Zim into the Florpus.
Oh, that's really interesting.
Except Enter the Florpus is like 2 billion times better than this.
Okay, I think I'll give it a watch if it was, because I thought this was really funny.
Yeah, this was
It had a
great.
really like sardonic and like adult sense of humor, which I liked.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, I love... One of my favourite shots is when it goes back to the snowman talking to the kids, and the little English girl goes like, but the whole situation eludes me! And the snowman just stares at the girl, and then just turns to everyone
yes.
else, picks him up, and just puts it under the bed. Just tucks it in there. It's like, that's such a random thing to do.
There's a lot of like very intense dialogue delivery throughout the entire series that I think.
Oh, very much so.
Yeah, just odd.
But there's also very interesting slapstick, because it's not the typical someone gets hurt slapstick. It's just very
No, it's
bizarre
not.
physical humour.
Also, did he kill that Santa guy he kidnapped?
Probably.
It sounded like
He kills
it.
a lot of people in this series, man.
Yeah. Totally a kid's show. 10 out of 10.
Michael, take it away with Garfield, A Melancholy Christmas.
Garfield, the saddest and slowest Actually, no. The Charlie Brown Christmas special, I think, still takes the cake for kind of a miserable, introspective
Yeah.
think piece.
I tried to
I
watch
definitely
that. It
agree.
was kind of boring.
It is.
That's because
really...
it's a miserable, introspective think piece.
Like, it's interesting, but I can't imagine a kid having to watch that.
No, but it's kind of interesting because Charlie Brown, just like as a series, never really subscribed to kind of conventional, like the pacing and structure of like kids media.
I guess it's because it's based off a comic.
Yeah, yeah.
But
and
just like this upcoming thing we're going to talk about.
yeah, instead of talking about a completely different Christmas special. The Garfield Christmas 1987 Christmas Special, 34th episode Christmas Spectacular.
Rick and Morty, 100
Rick
years.
and Morty, 100 years. The Garfield Christmas Special, and not the Rick and Morty Christmas Special, was a Christmas special produced for the Garfield and Friends Animation Hour, whatever it was called.
We're making this up on the spot.
Yeah, because we didn't do any research because we had scheduling conflicts, so we watched all the Christmas specials this morning and then immediately had to record this.
But I do know for a fact that this special was written by Jim Davis, who
Yes,
is the
because it was in
creator
the
of
credits.
Garfield.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wasn't directed by him, but was written by
So
Jim
we
Davis.
can read. That is good to know.
And it's reasonably
Hooray.
fun. It's reasonably funny.
It is.
A lot of it.
I would say, yeah.
Yeah.
It mostly holds up to this day.
It's paced nicely. Like, it's got that weird, like the Garfield television show kind of toes the line between really kind of schmaltzy, kid-friendly cartoon stuff and bitter, ironic cynicism.
Okay, Garfield and Friends was too much of the schmaltzy stuff, but this period of these these few episodes that they released
Because
in
there was the
1987,
Garfield show, and then there was the Garfield and Friends show.
Yeah.
They're two different entities.
they are.
Yeah,
This
'cause-
particular one was very dour most of the time.
I like that though. I remember because me and Stephen were talking about that we had like a collection of Garfield videos, and they came with like the Christmas special, the Halloween special, and then this unrelated special when he fights a panther in a park. And then I also had like a double pack
Yeah, it
that
comes
also
with Garfield
contained
in
like
itself.
Garfield goes to Hollywood and Garfield finds and abandons his family.
I love that one.
Yeah, like most of these episodes, like I love the discrepancy where you read the blurb, it's like, oh, a funny thing where Garfield and Odie play in the flowers, and that episode's actually about like Odie being
Taken to the
taken
pound.
to the pound, and Garfield has to deal with the fact that his best friend may die. And
Yeah.
that's the episode.
So like I
It's so light and fluffy.
I appreciate
Yep.
how kind of like unapologetically melancholy all of it is, and Garfield, because Garfield's a nice personality. I think it's nice. Again, I always say this about kids stuff, but it's nice to have a character that just kind of shows that it's kind of the opposite of optimism. He's
Yeah,
he's kind of
he's a
just-
pessimist.
Yeah, he's pessimistic and cynical, and he's just kind of cranky and angry all the time.
Well, the start of this before we
Not,
get
actually,
into
not really angry. He's so just like this mellow bitterness to him. He's very withdrawn and laid back. And Lorenzo Music, like, can we talk about how good that voice performance is, and how perfect every line is from him?
yeah,
Yeah.
but it also sounds like Bill Murray.
Oh yeah. Well, they have that similar cadence where Bill Murray just has that lackadaisical kind of.
Yeah, honestly, while watching this, I was surprised how well they cast Bill Murray for
They
it.
cast Stephen Curry's from The Castle.
Yeah, I was surprised how well the Bill Murray casting worked with this incarnation of Garfield.
Yeah, because yeah. Well, that's I guess why they hired you know, but everyone knows about this, but why they hired Lorenzo Music to play Peter Venkman in The Real Ghostbusters.
Which is an animated show, if you don't know.
We'll do The Real Ghostbusters one day, because I had a videotape of The Real Ghostbusters.
It always annoyed me that it was called The Real Ghostbusters.
Yeah, I used to, yeah. And also they were miscolored because they didn't get the likeness rights.
I like
to...
normal Ghostbusters, the one where they had the ape as one of their characters for some reason. Remember that one? That's why they had to call it The Real Ghostbusters.
Oh,
okay.
yeah, because
there was another-
the Ghostbusters television series was unrelated.
Yeah, it was just like a monkey with a yellow hat and he chased ghosts with his friends. It made no sense.
They drove around in a van solving mysteries. Is that the one?
I don't know.
Okay. Do you want to talk about the plot of the actual Christmas special?
Yes. So Garfield is a cat.
Very good.
And everyone knows Garfield. It's a long-running comic strip written by Jim Davis, and this is the Christmas special. And it's Garfield going to visit John, his owner, his family's farm.
He's very pessimistic about it because he hates going anywhere, and he just had a dream about his perfect Christmas of everyone just giving him gifts.
Yeah.
Thank you for that,
When I
Michael.
was young, when I was very young, I kind of envied the gift he got at the start. Which
That was
is
a pretty
oh,
amazing
the
gift.
Santa Claus that reads your mind, that
Yes.
just gives you whatever.
I'm actually really glad that was a dream because I thought that was a bit too outlandish.
Yeah, it's cartoony, but it's never over the top cartoony.
No, I mean, I just meant as a concept in this real world, it's a bit...
Yeah, that's what I mean.
That was definitely a dream sequence, though. Why would John make him lasagna just to get to the
The
tree?
Garfield world reminds me of The Simpsons reality, where it is kind of dour and grounded, but occasionally it'll just
Rubber
stretch
band.
it. Yeah, it's rubber band reality. It'll stretch a little bit, like in the Here Comes Garfield, that Hollywood special, or it's they're doing a talent show or something. Is that same
Yeah.
one? And then there's an opera singing cat. That's weird, but the rest of that episode
It's
is
normal,
nothing
yeah.
out of the ordinary. Yeah. Also, Garfield should have won that talent show.
Yeah, he's
I think a
pretty
cat and a
good.
dog doing a perfectly rehearsed tango is way better than just a cat singing opera.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But to be fair, they did win a boat, so all's forgiven.
Was it a big boat? I don't remember.
Yeah, it was as big as their house. It was just a giant boat.
That's still pretty good.
It was.
But yeah, they visit the family on Christmas, and what follows is a weirdly wholesome, child-friendly, but also bitter, a little bit pessimistic, and
But it ends up hopeful.
melancholy Christmas special with a very warm and
Warm
cozy
centre, yeah.
watercolor art style.
What yeah. And that's pretty much what follows. It also focuses on one of the other minor characters of the family you don't see very often, which is John's grandpa.
Oh, it's
grandma.
John's family in general. You don't see very much.
You do
Yeah.
see Doc Boy,
In,
the
the
mum
comic-
and dad
in the comic strips, they show up a little bit, but yeah,
never the grandma.
yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if she was designed just for this special.
And then you find out why, because she's very sad inside.
She's such a good character, though. Just from seeing their family, you can kind of see John's influences.
Yeah, I like how she's there. The grandmother's this sassy kind of go-getter character.
And her animation, especially during the piano part, was really good.
A lot of fun. Yeah. Yeah, it's very kid friendly, and it is oriented to a very skews a very young audience. But there's I think
There are two parts that me and Michael really like, where it gets serious with the grandmother mainly.
Yeah, because she talks
Definitely.
about her experience because everyone's having a lovely Christmas. John is behaving like a 5-year-old for some reason,
Even though
Yeah,
he's
I want to talk
30.
about that a bit later.
kind of
okay?
unironically, a little bit. But yeah, they go to the house during Christmas, and the grandmother is like kind of puts on a face, and she's very kind of boisterous and like loud and kind of sarcastic the entire time. But then she shares like this really somber, quiet moment with Garfield, talking about how her husband passed away and how she misses him, but she has to soldier on for the family.
And this is kind of like the loneliest time for her, because Christmas was a time when he would really shine as a person.
And it was some interesting like talking about like her talking about masculinity and how he didn't really want to show his emotions during Christmas time, even though he really wanted to. I thought that was kind of interesting to put in there.
Yeah, that was definitely the most interesting part of the special.
Yeah, it was like a little moment of like kind of adult talk for a second.
And it's even sadder if you think about like the grandmother probably doesn't think Garfield can understand her.
Yeah, which is sad. Yeah, because they talk a lot of time like, oh, like I'm talking to a house cat.
Yeah,
and he's just like, yeah, but it's kind of sweet. Do you understand?
That's always the case of the series, though, where Garfield can understand what they're saying, but no one understands what Garfield's saying.
Yeah,
because he doesn't say anything, Steph, and he just thinks.
It's kind of strange because a lot of the times in the comic, like the jokes are paced as if John can understand him a lot of the time.
Jokes.
Have you ever seen Garfield minus Garfield?
Yeah, it's sad.
Have you seen that, Ben?
No.
Someone takes like one guy on the internet took like a whole range. He still does it today. Range of Garfield comics and digitally removed Garfield from all of them. So it's just the story of like John, this man who lives alone, just descending into insanity.
What about Odie?
No, they don't pick the ones where Odie is, but it's the ones where it's just John and Garfield alone, and it's just John like. Because, like, really, in the reality of the strip, John is just relaying his problems to, like, a house cat that doesn't understand him.
Yeah.
There are also, like, alterations. There's one called, like, the real Garfield, when it's John, it's the comics, but it's Garfield's thought balloons taken out, and his drawing is replaced with, like, a much more realistic cartoon drawing of a house cat. So what it would actually be like is just John, like, relaying his life to, like, this apathetic cat... that just like sits there and blinks every now and then. No, in this one, you can understand her, and it's a sweet moment. And then by the end, Garfield finds a lot of the love letters that
I thought that was really nice of him.
Her husband wrote to him before he died.
Something I do notice about good Christmas specials is that as well as being quite schmaltzy and sweet and whatnot, they have a bit of loneliness, because Christmas for a lot of people is one of the loneliest times.
Yeah.
And I found in this one, and especially in the community one that Ben will talk about later, there's this sense of loneliness, of missing something or having lost something and having to deal with those feelings. And I think the Garfield one and the Commune one deal with that really well, which makes me ashamed for even bringing the Invaders in one, because that does not do that at all.
No, that is definitely the least Christmas
You
special.
need something that's just like
Insanity.
yeah, no, what's the word? Just oh shit, cut all this out. But I'm trying to think of that word for like just like unapologetic. I'm gonna Google
Stark.
Cut all this. No, you know what? I'll probably just blurt it out at some point later on in the podcast. Anyway, the Garfield Christmas Special. Did you like it?
I really liked it. I don't know how it compares to other 80s cartoons of the time, because I found a lot of the background mats very... It's very reminiscent of the comic, I would say.
Yeah.
The comic, not really. The comic was never like...
It doesn't really have many backgrounds.
gradients. There was no gradients in the comic. Because it was black and white for the longest
Yeah.
time. It was only digitally recolored later on.
But there's not much detail and stuff, so I found that a little bit distracting.
No,
for
I
me.
didn't mind that because I always say this, but it looks like a storybook. It has
Yeah.
it has watercolor backgrounds with traditionally animated cells.
Honestly, this particular show and these 6 episodes that I used to watch as a kid of this series, this is how I view Garfield as the ideal of what it should look like.
Well, this is my first foray into animated Garfield stuff, so...
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I think it works well as an aesthetic like that, because it looks a bit rough around the edges, but it doesn't have that problem where the coloring's bad. Like, the colours are quite
it's
crisp
good,
within their
yeah.
shapes and whatnot.
It's so warm. It's just like there's just a coziness to it.
However, while I don't particularly like how rough it is, I do think that the style overall is very classic looking and something that I could see people watching over and over again every single Christmas.
Yeah, that's why I always see like whether it be on like streaming services or like at the shops, like those new Garfield shows and specials.
They're
which is
so
which is all
weird.
3D, like they're all 3D animated.
You know, I tried to watch one once because I thought, oh, I'll give it a go, see what it's like. And the plot is so outlandish. It's the most non-Garfield thing ever. Whereas this feels like it really holds it true that he's just a
because
cat.
it was always about domestic life and just cynicism.
Has some good songs. It's actually quite funny because...
Yeah, I forgot that this show was a musical.
Yeah.
to
Oh
some
yeah,
extent.
that's right.
The
There were
Christmas
songs
songs
in
in
it.
this one were quite nice.
I didn't like the end song. It was way too
Ah,
folksy
yes.
country.
Yeah, it was a bit corny.
It was like a hoedown kind of thing.
Yeah.
I really like the one though where she the grandma tells Garfield the story of her husband though. That song was
Like
really
the
nice.
slow one.
The one that
Yeah.
the mother sings.
I enjoyed the one in the car. When
Yeah,
Oh,
that
yeah.
was
when
nice.
it's a simple little comedy song where like John's listing things to do for Christmas and then Garfield kind of
Just shutting them down.
reiterates what he thinks about it. Yeah.
And just a little bit about animation. The best bit of animation was at the very start during Garfield's dream when he was getting all the presents.
Oh yeah,
Just
that was
everything
great.
spurting out and all the exaggeration with Garfield.
And it's kind of to the beat of the song as well.
yeah, I
which
thought
is
that
hard
was
to do.
really well done.
Yeah,
was
good
gener-
Christmas special.
It was generally
Yeah.
a really well-paced Christmas. I always
brisk, wasn't it?
I remember it
Yeah.
being a lot longer when I was younger.
Yeah. No, it's very, very short.
But it's very quick. It really hits a nail on the head with a lot of its story beats. But one thing I do want to mention, because Ben was going to mention it too, is that John acts like a 5-year-old.
Yeah!
There was a bit when I thought it might have been ironic, like when the dad reads him the book, and like they're kind of making fun of the dad,
Yeah.
because like they're kind of like sarcastically excited for him to read it.
Yeah, the sarcasm was strong in that scene.
But like everything else, like it's like
I
I
think,
know he's kind of like a mad child who can barely take care of himself, and it's like pathetic and an idiot. But in this one, like it was like a weird character turn.
I still think it was kind of like, oh, let's pretend we're children and act like it's
Yeah, I kind of got that too. Like kids,
But
like
it's such a dick move though.
yeah, like I like how like if you were a kid, you can watch it just like, oh, he's just excited about Christmas. When
Yeah.
you're an adult, he's like, oh, he's just he's being like kind of mean to his dad.
Exactly.
Just trying to like acting like a kid.
But it was fun to watch though, I will say.
But no, really good kind of oddly melancholy Christmas special. That's
But definitely warm all around.
yeah, good stuff. Like all the cynicism.
And Garfield's present from Odie was good. I liked it.
Yeah, Garfield didn't get Odie anything because he's terrible.
Because
Yeah,
it's
he's
an apathetic
kind of a
cat.
jerk.
Stupid cat. Anyway, Ben, what's Community?
Is this the one written by Dan Hamron?
Dan Harmon.
that
Yes,
one.
it is.
Okay, that's what I was trying
Oh,
to
this
get
is
at.
that Russo Brothers series.
Yeah, so it's a series about some adults
Community
attending
college.
community college in America, and it's written and made by Dan Harmon. The Russo brothers did quite a few episodes on it as well, of directing.
I saw their names in the credits.
Yeah, and I think it is a really great show. And for their second season, for their Christmas special, they decided to do a stop-motion animated special, which is very reminiscent of, what was it again?
The Rankin Bass productions.
Yeah, so like the classic Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer film and so on.
Yeah.
And I think doing a stop-motion animated special in this day and age is pretty damn great, especially for a live-action show and not just like a one-off from just...
I like it. Like the amount of effort that went into the production of this is
Yeah.
astounding.
So, yeah, so the plot of it is Abed, one of the characters in Community, so he is like very meta, his character.
Yeah, he's self-referential a
Oh,
lot.
is he actually meta in the show as
Yes,
well
he
as
is.
apart from this?
Yes.
Okay.
So he is imagining that everything is in stop motion. So they bring him to the school psychologist, and
Oh yeah, I'd early like John Oliver.
John Oliver, yes.
Yeah, I really his voice really lends itself to animation.
it really does.
It's really distinctive.
So they go and see John Oliver, psychologist, and they go, "Oh, we have to figure out what's wrong with Abed, and hopefully I
like
can
how-
make some money off of it."
I like how he's kind of the good guy the whole time.
But he's also a dick.
He's kind of a dick, but he's just like, and yeah, he wants to exploit him for
Yeah.
for a research publication.
but I mean, he was right.
But he was
Yeah.
right the whole time. We just wanted him to snap out of it.
Anyway, so Abed goes.
to the point when the main guy started to annoy me. Just like, you just stop. You're clearly insane.
Anyway, so Abed takes the whole study group into Abed's Christmas land in his mind, and then they try to figure out the meaning of Christmas, and then we find out
It's the third season of Lost or
the
something.
first season of Lost because it's
It represents
disappointing.
disappointment.
Because his mother couldn't make it to see him on Christmas this year.
Because she now has a new family
Yes.
since the divorce.
But then he finds out that his real family are the friends he made along the way.
Yeah.
And I can say that unironically.
Yeah, exactly.
And yeah, so that's the Christmas special.
This is the
for
show
it.
with Chevy Chase, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I recognise him, but I just yesterday watched National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
Ah,
And
okay.
it was so weird hearing Chevy Chase just like 30 years later and just sounding completely different.
some of the actors, there's Yvette Nicole Brown. She was the Christian woman,
You're gonna have
The
to be a
baby.
bit more specific.
the baby.
Oh, she's funny.
Oh,
yeah.
the baby.
So she is in
She had a good voice.
Endgame
Yeah, she was. Yeah,
in
that's
the
right.
elevator.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
There was Abed, who was in Winter Soldier as one of the people that Captain America tries to get to surrender Hydra over.
Oh, okay.
Towards the end sequence. Jim Rash, who is the dean of this place, he was the dean of the university in Civil War.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And I think that's all the community.
Confirmed, same universe.
Yep, 100%. Anyway, so the stop motion in this I thought was pretty good, especially for like just a one-off episode as well.
I like how they actually explained what stop motion figures are made of as well.
Yes.
Like it's not plasticine. It's like
It's like ball and socket armatures with polyester outer casing and all that.
with
sort
like a
of
cotton
stuff.
body or something like that.
I really appreciated how smartly the meta was written into this
Yes.
stop motion. Like, it made you really appreciate the stop motion more as you were watching it, because I'd do things like, hey, we might as well stay in stop motion because it's hard to do this sort of thing and it looks great.
I loved how as it progressed and like John Oliver got like progressively more and more like fed up with everybody's shit. I just loved how like he started to like do things like sarcastically to like
Yeah.
kind of replicate them in like the animation world. And like he doesn't they all do it so well that you can like see what's happening in reality.
Yes.
Like as you're watching the animation. When John Oliver's like, oh fine, I'm just going to make like this robot pterodactyl come down or whatever it was.
Robot Christmas pterodactyl.
That made me laugh so much.
And you could see John Oliver in real life just
Yes.
like saying like throwing his hands up and just like, okay, fine.
That was something I was going to ask. Is there actually a take of this that is just them as if it was live action?
I have no idea.
I was surprised it never cut back.
Yeah, same.
Except at the very end when
At the
you
very
see
end,
the
there's like a
reflection.
glimpse in the television screen. But like,
Yes.
yeah, I was surprised with that like Man of Restraint. Like it never cut back at any point.
Yeah. My favorite animated segment in this was the very beginning where Abed is singing the community theme song, but with Christmas lyrics, and then he gets
He gets
tased on
tasered.
the.
Yeah.
Because
Dancing on the
that
cars.
tumble from the car onto the ground was so good.
I also like the no. That's what I thought. That's the point where I thought that was the best animation in the special. Him jumping from car to car.
Oh yeah, definitely. It was.
I also like the
really
little detail
good.
how he actually dents the bonnets as he
Yeah.
steps on them. Yeah.
And he just thinks, "Oh, I'm just in this fantasy land where I can do anything I want."
And I love how, like,
no.
in reality, like, he's just jumping on bonnets in, like, the parking, in, like,
And
the
just
car park. And he
being
just
a
gets
nuisance.
tasered by campus security.
Oh yeah, that is really good.
I really like the train sequence in this.
Oh yeah,
Like,
like
just
train
how-
sequence.
Just how they did, like, all the snowflakes and everything in that set piece. It was just a
I
really
love-
well done.
I love
train
John Oliver
sequence.
just yelling, like, you're restraining me in reality.
Yes.
Like, you can, like, picture, like, the cutback of them just, like, holding him back across the room. It was really good. I
It was
enjoyed
also really strange though, because for some reason when I see stop motion like this for an adult show, which is a parody of the Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer special, I always expect it to be inexplicably violent.
I was gonna say.
And yet this
okay.
wasn't.
I was
No,
gonna
it wasn't.
Say that. Yeah. For some reason, when I was watching it, I was expecting like a Team America, something like this level of blood and gore, but
No.
there never was.
No, it was quite wholesome most of the
And I
time.
liked that level of restraint because it would have been so like it would have been
It
so
would have been
easy
easy
just,
to
like,
make that
rip
joke.
their heads off
I
the
mean,
puppets
there
and stuff.
was a sex joke when they're kind of where his
The
Abed is singing
snowman,
with
yeah.
the snowman, and that snowman is Ken Jeong. Do you know
Is
who
that
he
his real voice?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Because I've never heard him speak normally.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is he the guy from The Hangover?
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. I've seen like the first Hangover movie. I've never heard him not talk like that with like a ridiculous stereotype accent.
No, that is more his normal voice.
Yeah. I had no idea what he sounded like.
Yeah, that was one of the jokes, but that was more of a subtle
they made
innuendo.
it kind of look like him.
Yeah.
Like, not quite, but it was close.
But yeah, what you were saying?
No, I was just saying, as you were saying, that was a subtle innuendo as opposed to
Yeah.
what I expect in some of these other stop motion parodies where they go full out just.
Like, for example, when the new Child's Play film came out, there was a lot of animated stop motion shorts they used to try to sell it online, and they were all very violent and gory. So I'm guessing you were expecting something like that.
Yeah.
Or like that Simpsons thing I sent to you. But yeah, Community, the whole show really is kind of meta like that. Not to this degree, but it is very meta in
Is
general.
this the show where they have a whole episode where the ground is lava?
Yes.
Okay.
There's
that-
also
that makes
episodes of just paintball.
Okay. And
I'd
then
like
the
to-
one with Star Wars, right?
Is
Where-
it on Netflix or Stan or anything?
it might be on Stan.
I'll look at it
actually.
first because I thought it was a lot of fun. I'd watch more of it.
I like the character
It was interesting.
cast.
Yeah,
Yeah,
It
the
was
cast is really
It was a
good.
really diverse cast. It was nice.
It was also interesting to see Chevy Chase in a different role that wasn't Clark Griswold
Mm.
for once.
Actually, he does leave in season 4 or 5 though.
Oh, okay. I didn't think because when I was watching it, I was just like, this is a weird role for him. He's just like part of this enormous ensemble, and he's just kind of off to the side. Like, doesn't seem like something Chevy Chase would do or like sign up for.
He needs money.
Probably, yeah. I mean, what was his last film? Vegas Vacation. What a hit.
No, he was in that. There was this movie with a whole lot of older guys in it, just like trying to.
Last Vegas.
Las Vegas?
Actually, I think
Why is everything about Vegas?
What's
I
up?
actually think it might be something like that.
Something I want to talk about with these Christmas movies we're doing is that because they're Christmas movies...
Irreverent.
That was the word.
That was the word.
I'm
Sorry,
gonna.
it just popped in my head.
These were all musicals, pretty much. These 3 specials we did.
Yes.
Which do you think had the better songs?
I really liked the Invader Zim one because
What,
it
Behold
was
the Power of Santa.
there was literally a sing along thing with it. But there's a lot more in Community. Community has the most, I would say.
Community's ones felt
They're
a
kind of
bit...
parodies of-
Yeah, they
Yes,
felt
they
a bit
were.
too gimmicky for me.
Yeah. I wouldn't never sing any of those Community ones, but that
remember-
Santa one from the Power Santa one from Invader Zim, I definitely would like to listen to that
There's
again.
something about those horrific elves smiling at you with unblinking eyes that just really gets you into the holiday spirit.
And the Garfield TV series songs were always kind of similar.
Yeah.
Like, they were just kind of short, like...
Apart from the last
They're
one.
miserable. They're
But
memorable,
they
though.
consistently, like, they're always, like, really corny, but they're always kind of consistently kind of catchy and upbeat.
Yeah, except for that. as
Except for the
Ben said
episode where
last-
Odie's about to be put down, and there's this really, like, long power ballad.
So long, old friend, I wish that I could see you once again. That's a song they use.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember thinking I was really clever, because in the episode when the Panther is loose, Garfield's listening to the news bulletin, and then...
It's the same song.
Yeah, and then they cut back to, like, their regular programming, and it just plays that song over the radio.
We cut to a regular
So was that
broadcast
song-
of fun music.
Yeah, so was that song diegetic music? Was that actually playing in the pound?
Maybe it was.
Anyway, Merry Christmas, everyone.
Merry Christmas. That was the talk about our 3 Christmas specials for our Christmas Spectacular.
A Christmas Spectacular, which is a short episode where we didn't prepare for, that we're recording a week and a half out from Christmas.
Okay, so this is the end of the podcast for this year. Next year we'll be back.
And hopefully better.
In January, except for that 1 week when I'm away in January.
So late January, we're
Also-
gonna say. As
I
a
don't do
guess.
early January. I mean, the week I'm away might not even be a week that we do it.
Let's just say we're gonna be back sometime in January.
In January. Ugh.
And yeah, if you like this podcast, make sure to share it with some friends. And if you want to contact us, we are at animate3pod@gmail.com. We're on YouTube, we're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, we're on Instagram, we're on most places you can find podcasts. And I think that is all for now.
Merry Christmas,
Merry
everyone.
Christmas!
Christmas.